Please join us in continuing to allow us to record. Thank you. It's always a hesitation, like, do I leave the class abruptly and make them wonder what the heck just happened? Just kidding. So Joli and I put together a class that we're fondly calling Facebook 2.0. And the reason we're putting it together is, each of us use these social media portals in ways that we do for our day-to-day. And we thought we'd show you a couple of things outside of some of maybe the normal uses that you have for it, and maybe features and things that you can do that you aren't aware of that you can. Some of this maybe you are already gonna know, in which case just nod your head like when you're gonna get to the good stuff. And if it's something that you haven't seen before or heard before, let us know in some kind of way so that we know the content is of value, right? So we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna start with the first thing. We have like 10, 11 things that we wanna go through with you, and it will take probably the course of an hour to get through the content that we've created. We're going to hop back and forth in sharing our screen a little bit with you. So bear with us as we transition through those pieces. But the first thing that I wanted to ask you about is, on the call, how many of you have a vanity URL for your Facebook page? And if you don't know what a vanity URL is, then this will be your first good nugget takeaway, and something that I would encourage you to do, because you can have a vanity URL on your personal page, on your professional page. I have one on my public figure page, and so here's what it is. So for example, there's two pieces to it that I wanted to share in this section. So first, let me share my screen so that you can see what I mean.
The CBS is March 1st. They're still working.
Well, that's interesting. Okay. This is the first time it's giving me a blank screen that it's like, is that the one you want to share? And I'm like, yeah, but there should be content on it. So confirm for me, if you will, that you can see my Facebook page over here.
Yes, and it's nice and big.
Yep. Yeah, it's huge. It's the biggest I'm going to make it for you, and it's out of love and respect that it's huge. Yeah. Now I'm going to be like, where are the buttons and locations? Because they're going to be in different spaces for me now. And my muscle memory on Facebook is going to be like, Sam, be more patient. Okay, so the first thing I want to share with you is where you would go. That's not true. That's the second thing I'm going to share with you. The first thing I'm going to share with you is what a vanity URL could look like. So for example, if I go up into this search, or just to any URL, you can go, this is my first tip for you. I don't have to spell out Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. I can simply write fb.com. How cool is that? They know that's Facebook. And my vanity URL is Ask for Sam, one of them. So what if we went fb.com/Ask for Sam? What happens?
Goes to your page.
It sure as heck does. If you are patient with the internet as I am. I can't control my connection speed as more and more families come home in the condominium that I'm in. And if it gets too clunky and slow, we may just throw the ball to Joli and walk her through stuff. But just to give you a quick and dirty, yep, that's how it works. Now, the more important question is, how do you create one of these for yourself? And we'd like to show you how to do that. So this little drop-down arrow in the upper right-hand corner, if you click on that, if it lets you click on that. Really? Joli, you may be taking the driver's seat here. I can't live like this in instruction world. And so let me stop it and have you do that, Joli, and just do it from any page.
Okay.
And I will play some overlay commentary for Joli at the same time. And so this was my section. So what she's gonna do is go to that little drop-down corner arrow, and under settings, she's going to click settings, and then she's going to hit general, which is the default, my apologies. And then there is a username, the second one down, and you have the ability to edit that. So Joli intentionally does not have one. And so we thought we'd have her create one and activate it. And it will tell you if your name is available or not. And then you have to log into your Facebook to just identify that it was you. So that's step one. Create a vanity URL, make it something meaningful. And then how cool is it? So even on my business cards, I will have fb.com/Ask for Sam, so that people know they can go right to there to get direct access to me through Facebook. My designer originally was like, Sam, we have to spell out Facebook. And I said, hey, before you go ahead and do that, why don't you go ahead and give it a test and see what happens? So they were super enamored by the fact that Facebook had created this sort of mini URL in respect for that. So that's our first example, the vanity URL. The second thing that we wanted to do is, have you, and Women's Council has done this, have you ever seen,
Hold on, Rose wants us
Yeah.
to repeat how to do that.
Oh, okay. That's you, Joli. Get on in there. So the first thing she's going to do is to the right of the question mark.
Yep.
There's a little arrow that points down. If you select that guy, one of your options is settings down near the bottom. And in this case, it looks like it's the last option. So she's going to click settings. And then it's going to take her to this general account settings page. And there, the second one down is called username. And if you go in there and hit edit, you can create a username. And that's what I did. So for mine, I put Ask for Sam. On my public figure page, mine is Ask for Sam Realtor, all as one word. So Joli, did it not save your changes when you did it the first time?
No, it wouldn't. For some reason, my Facebook doesn't like me still. I'm still in Facebook jail. So
Okay, she's in jail.
Yeah, I'm in jail.
So if you run into any problems doing yours, let us know and we'll help you. You know, figure out what's going on with it. Joli will have mastered it by the time she figures out how Facebook will let her fix hers.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
Yeah, please.
If you, let's just say you go in there and you change it and then you decide later on you want to change it to something else. Can you go in and do that?
Absolutely.
As long as what you're choosing is still available and not taken by someone else, absolutely.
Got it.
Yep.
Awesome.
Because I've done that myself, and I traded what page was what as I was trying to figure out the best use of them, how I wanted to call them. But great question. Thanks for that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course. And so then the second thing we wanted to take you to is, you know, in your profile photo, every once in a while we'll see this ability to add a frame. So right now there's a lot of popular ones about stay home. There's some realtor ones that basically say, you know, I'm still virtually working for your best interest, those kinds of things. Have all of you seen those as options that you can add these layers of frames to your profile photo?
Mhm.
So
No.
Joli's going to, and if you haven't, we're going to do two things. A, we're going to show you, so Joli has one on hers right now, and we're going to show you how to make one so that you can make a personal one for yourself, for your business. You can make a custom one for your Women's Council network or state network, which I think is really sort of fantastic, and encourage your members to use that when you're announcing an event or attending an event. Just a way to show some camaraderie to an organization, I think is pretty sweet. So Joli's going to walk us through how to actually make one, and I'm going to give you in the chat a couple of URLs that you're going to want to copy off, or at the end of class, you can, in the chat, in the bottom right-hand corner, here's a little just Zoom bonus exercise. When you're in the chat, you see over on the way far right, the three little dots. If you select, as long as the host who's invited you has not altered this setting, as long as you can come in here and the option to save chat is there, that means the host has granted permission for you to download the chat. If that feature is not there, it just means the host has blocked the ability for the users to download that chat. And I don't know that they can fix it on the fly to change it, in which case you might want to just copy and paste the information that you wanted. Okay, so I want to post in here these two things, and then Joli is going to actually walk us through how to do it.
You good? You ready?
You're good, because I'm just going to paste it in there. So take the lead.
Okay, perfect. So, like Sam was saying, we're going to be talking about the Facebook profile frames, and we made two. So I made two of them. I made a local network one, which I'll actually be sharing out to the Las Vegas network. And then we're going to make a personal one as well for your real estate business. And you can do this for, you know, any event maybe that you're having. So the first thing that you're going to do is go to Canva, and you can do this in Canva or Pixlr. So Canva is going to be your easiest option to do this, but you do have to have the paid membership to be able to do this because you need a transparent background. And the only way to get that on Canva is having the premium option. Or you can do it in Pixlr for free, but it can be a little bit more complicated in getting that. And Sam and I are happy to reach out to you and help you through that. And we also did a training last week on it, and there is a recording of that. So to make your personal frame, so let me show you the two that we did. So I made just this quick little personal frame, and you're gonna notice that I have two different type of layouts. This one I have really close in the center, the local leadership one, so it fits into the circle, because most people don't click on your profile picture. They just look at the circle of your picture that Facebook kind of cuts out for you. So I wanted everything to fit for the leadership one to be in that circle. But with my personal real estate one, everything was a little too small for my liking to fit in that circle. And I still wanted people to be able to read our information if they clicked on our profile picture. So the first thing that you're going to do is go into Canva and click Create Design. And you will be doing a custom dimension on this one. So it is 360 by 360. And you can't go any smaller. I tried. And then you have this little box. So the first one that we'll do is just the local leadership one. And I made it, again, super simple because you don't have to spend a ton of time on it. Now, everything, all the logos that I got for this is on wcr.org. If you want your personal local network's logo, you can actually go to their website and go into My Network Documents, and it's there as well, the transparent or the white background one. So for the local board, I just grabbed the Las Vegas logo and I grabbed this guy, and I don't want this section. So like we talked about in our previous Canva, what you'll do is double click this and you're gonna crop it. And I just want the leaders made here section on it. And then I'll click done and I will drag it down. So it's gonna look weird when you're making this because you want it really in the center so it fits in that circle.
Hey, Joli, quick question for you. Because Illinois, we actually have a leaders made here that is the long one and the stacked one that is specific to Illinois, that was designed by Illinois by National. So it wouldn't surprise me if, and maybe our ladies can address this in a way, but you should be able to have the official one without having to do this extra step is my only point.
Oh,
but
cool.
Yeah, but if you don't have it handy, this is a great solution and way to do it. So kudos for taking the advanced class for us there, Joli.
Of course. So once I have it in the center, and it, again, you may have to play around with this depending how particular you want it to be in that circle, if you want everything to fit in that circle. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into elements, and I want a square. And I'm just going to drag it down here. Now you don't want it too thick on the bottom because you want to be able to still see your photo. Now some frames, you can go as crazy as you want. You can do stuff on top, you can do stuff on bottom, sides, whatever you want. This is just a really simple way, and with the circle especially, really if you want people to see the information in the circle, you have to have stuff on top or bottom, but you also want to be able to still see your, your photo that it's underneath. So I recommend just the bottom, and for this one I'm just doing white, but you can do whatever color you prefer. And then what I will go to is position, and I'm going to click backwards, so everything is backwards. And I'm going to kind of pull these down just a little bit and save it.
And Joli, maybe in our original design of how we're putting this class together, does it make sense, do you think, to, before we go much further here, is take them to the personal frame page and pull up a couple of examples of what frames out there look like so they can really see what it is that we're talking about? Because I feel like being able to see that example in a couple of different ways might be meaningful. I mean, it would for me.
Yeah. So let me save this really quick.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you go to save it, you're going to click publish, and you want to click download. Make sure that you click the transparent background so that way it saves and it will look correct in your frame. And then you just click download. So Sam put both links in the chat box, and I wanted to share with you just kind of what these frames look like. Let's click on You have all sorts of different backgrounds that you can do. So this one, these are the frames that we were talking about. So this is the 2020 mid-year, the at-home edition. You can see, again, it gives you the circle so you can see what your photo would look like in the circle, but it also shows you the full square view if someone clicked on your photo. So these are all your different frames. So you may see someone with, and I still have the Joli frame, the Sam and Joli frame on here. Let me take that off.
And it's a searchable interface. So if you had a child with autism and you wanted to support autism, there almost something for everything is out there. And if you don't find one that's meaningful for you, what a great opportunity to create one for a good cause or something that you're passionate about.
Totally.
So, can I ask a question?
Of course.
So
yes,
I've used these before, but I've never searched. I've just seen like one pop up and I'm like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I want to use that. But I didn't know that you could actually go in and everything is searchable and people just make them, and they make them so that everybody can use them, or do they make them private?
They're free to use and you choose whether to make it available to all or not.
Okay.
And I'll show you how to upload it.
Yeah, you'll get to see that section. Whoever wants to speak, go ahead.
Okay, I have a question. So you were showing in Canva how if it's made, I'll call it public, you can actually go into somebody who has created one, and do they share it with you, or how do you access it?
Go on, Tim.
It's in Facebook, right? So and we're sending you a link to make life easier. If you go to the link that we sent you, which is facebook.com/profile pic frames, that's a searchable place, and that's the page that Jolie's showing you right now. So you go to this page, and we just find it the fastest place to go that's user friendly. And then in here in the search engine just above the quarantine, you can start doing any kind of search. So Jolie, do a search for Sam and Joli. So we created a couple yesterday as we were preparing for class. And so I've deleted mine. So, oh no, that's one I created. So it tells you Sam Powell created a frame called it Sam and Joli. And no surprise, it's, Sam and Joli's little logo. So we just wanted to make sure that we knew we had never built one of these before yesterday either. And
I didn't know that you could build them. I thought they like Facebook built them and then they provided them to you. I did not know that.
In full disclosure, there's a speaker buddy of mine, her name's Kim Cameron, and she has spoken for Women's Council in the past. And she reached out to me via text yesterday and said, hey, I'm running for a position for something, and I want a profile picture frame. Is that something that you could build for me? And I was just like, I have no idea, but I will learn it. I'll figure it out and we'll build you some. And so since Joli and I were having a meeting to brainstorm to make sure that we were as inclusive in our Facebook 2.0, we were like, oh yeah, we have to incorporate this really awesome nugget as well. So this credit goes to Kim Cameron.
It's good stuff.
And then the best way that you guys have found to share it with your network in the few short hours that you've been doing this would be then just to post to your members this link. Hey, here, find this.
You could, and also be, as soon as Joli makes it her profile frame, now anytime she shows up in my feed, it'll show me her profile and it'll say, do you want to try this profile frame? And you can click try and apply it to your profile picture as well. So
that's the only time I've done it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I didn't know that you could make them for free, or that they were relatively easy to make. So we were super excited that what a nice layer to enhance all of our Facebook should we so choose, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Very cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
So she's not quite finished. So then she's going to walk us through where we save them, how we save them.
Wait. I have a question.
Oh, hey, Natalie.
So I came in a little late. Sorry, I was playing.
Yeah, I know. Kim asked me. How do we take it off?
Oh, I can take it off. Hold on. Here you go.
We taught. This is Sam Powell's fault.
Because it's your fault.
Well, Sam Powell has been teaching people how they can, when a share screen is shared, that you as a user have an ability to draw on the screen and on the screen. Oh yeah. if you stick around for the question and answer period at the end, we'll show you how to do it. But for now, we're going to need you to sit in your seats and be good little girls and boys, Natalie. And we'll get to that bonus.
Oh my
Zoom
God, I'm
feature.
so excited.
Okay, so my question is this. I got here a little late. I just need a brief fast because I'm really fast.
Okay.
How did you get here? How did you create it? Just brief really quick.
Okay. So you guys are drawing. Okay. Yeah. So we went on to Canva because we're making the profile picture frames. And so I made a local one, and then you can also make a personal one. So you can see my local one, I made it a little bit smaller so it fits in that circle. The personal one, I still wanted our info to be able to be read. So if someone clicked on our profile, and again, it's super easy to use to do this. And for the colors particularly, in our previous Zoom that or previous happy hour that we talked about Canva, I just put in on our color palette, I put in our company color code. That way it's specific and it complies with the company. Also make sure that if you're making your personal real estate one, that you follow your guidelines in your state. So that way you don't get in trouble.
Yeah. So is there a size? Do I have to use Canva? Because I don't use Canva. So I use other stuff.
Yeah, you can use other stuff and it's in your chat. We've given you a little cheat sheet that tells you that your image size needs to be 360 by 360. And we provided you with 2 of the links that we're using for this demonstration. One is where you actually build it in Facebook, and the other is where you manage the ones that you have built.
Can you repost it really quick because it's not in there because I just got here.
Oh, it doesn't show you anything before you enter the room?
No.
Well, shame on you. Shame on you, tardy student.
I was with the national president of WCR.
Okay.
I love you. I love you. And all I was going to say is it's also being recorded, Natalie, so you can reference it again in what feels like fake live if you want to, but I'm pasting it again for you in the chat. Thanks for playing.
Okay.
Thanks.
So once you have your frame done and once you save it with a transparent background, you will go to facebook.com/frames/manage, and you want to upload it now. So I am going to click Open Frame Studio. It's the upper right-hand corner, and upload it. So if you've ever gone into like a live stream and you wanted to add a sticker during your live stream, you can actually add a personal sticker. So like I made one with our real estate logo. So if we ever go live, we can add that filter or add that sticker, and it will be at the bottom of our screen. That's how people do it. Instead of, you don't need other third-party apps to do that now. You can upload it right here into there. Again, just making sure you have that transparent background. So I'm going to just work on the profile picture one, but if you wanted to add the Facebook camera option, you would just select that. Then I'm going to drag and drop. You can also upload art, and that's how you would do it. You can do all sorts of different things right here, bring it forward. Again, you can play with it. If you want to add multiple images, this is what the action section would be for you. Then you are going to, I need to make my screen a little bit bigger. There you go. Then you're going to click next. You can also preview it if you want to see what it looks like, but it gives you the look of the circle and the square. And then you'll click next. You're going to name it. So this one would be local LV, and this is where your location. So if you wanted a specific location, so if I just wanted Las Vegas to be able to use this logo, this frame, I could make that. Same with the schedule. So if you maybe are making this for an event, maybe it's a wedding or it's your mid-year, you can specifically give it a schedule so someone's not using a 2020 mid-year frame in 2022. You can have that different schedule time and keywords if you want people to be able to search it specifically. Then you click next again, and it'll again confirm that you don't want any specific locations, keywords, anything like that, and you'll click publish.
How long does it take to go live?
It automatically. So you are all published, and you'll click done. And then this is right here where you'll be able to make stuff inactive or active. So maybe something didn't go right. So example, like right here, I was playing with it a little bit earlier. on the Las Vegas logo, and I didn't like how it didn't fit in that circle, so I made that one inactive. And you can see again how far you can go. And let's see if I can click on this one. Yeah, so this is the one that I made for if I was going live on Facebook on our business page. This is the one that I created. So you can see how it would just lay on the bottom or lay in the center depending how you had your camera. Then once you have that uploaded, you would go into your facebook.com/profile pick frames, and this is where you would be able to add it. Now, when you add it, you would just search the name, and you would see if I can. I still have this one added, so it's going to look weird. But here, I'll just do this one. So again, I just added that frame. I forgot what I named it. So you can, again, play with it, add different photos if you want and to play with your different background photo. And then you can go down here, add a description if you want, since you know when you change your profile picture, it posts a nice post. You can add your description, as well as you can set a time period. So if you want this layer to be gone in an hour, a day, a week, you can customize it, never, whatever you want to do. It automatically is set to 1 month. So you would just have to go in and change it. And then you'll just click use as profile picture. You can also, if you manage other pages, so for me, I manage our local Women's Council page. So if I wanted to do something different with our local Women's Council page, blast out this new pick frame to our, our members on our local Women's Council page, I can do that from here as well. And that is how to do your little picture. And there's mine.
And it immediately made me think of your virtual background, Joli, and your Nevada emblem, because it is nearly an interesting circle of creating an overlay that was about Nevada to match your background in a Zoom room.
Yeah.
So any questions on this section, or we're going to move on? Yes.
What's it called? A Facebook layover?
It's a Facebook profile frame. Or Facebook frame, but the way we found it is profile photo frames, and we use that language because that's the language they're using in their links, right? So there's profile pick frames, so you could officially call it a profile pick frame if you want to follow the language of the Facebook URLs, for example. Clear as mud?
Okay. Clear, okay. I got it. I'm already designing one.
Yay!
Atta girl. Proud of you. All right, and Joli, since you're the demonstrator, I'll keep an eye on the chat for us as well.
Cool.
Okay, so moving along to this next section, we're going to cover a handful of things in here, and we're calling this sort of our annual projects, annual suggestions in things that we would encourage you to consider doing with your Facebook and Facebook management. The first thing that I thought I'd have Joli show you is, does anyone in this group, in this class right now, anyone organizing their friends in lists? Like, do you have a list of clients that you're actively working with? Natalie, you're using lists in Facebook?
Because I have too many people.
No, listen, I totally understand. I've never organized any of my stuff by lists, but it's a feature that's super user friendly and helpful, and it's going to be in your left-hand side. Joli, you're nearly there. It's under Explore, so you have to hit See More, I think.
Yep.
And then what you're going to find in there is your friends lists, right? So they make it relatively intuitive. You come here and you can create a list and then select people to add into that list. And where I think this would be really sort of super powerful as a professional is if you have 5,000 people, as an example, like this kid who should organize some nonsense, I could have a list that is all of my realtors. And I could use that list as a way to find talent for referrals that I need within that list. I could see us using it for like raving fans, clients that you've done business with, who you have really amazing, strong relationship with, and you want to make sure that you stay in touch and in communication with them through social media, Facebook, if that's what they're using. And you could go to that sub list at any time and be like, I want to make sure I check in. You know, as years pass in our real estate careers, our list of clients that we've worked with just keeps growing. And so that people don't get lost in the shuffle, what a nice way to sort of go through that list and make sure that you're engaging and interacting with the people that are fueling your business and feeding your business before you play on your natural organic feed. Does that make sense?
Yep.
What's really cool about the list feature though is when you create a list and then you're able to, so say I go into like the real estate one, as I click on that list and I post directly to that list, only those people are seeing that post. So if
Love
you
it.
are someone who wants to kind of keep your personal life a little bit separate on Facebook and or say you have a specific list.
Try it out.
Hey ladies, are you able to mute?
Okay. Are they good? Okay, we're good? Okay.
Yep, we're good. Thank you.
Thank you. So what's really cool about the list feature is say you want specifically, say you have a new listing and you want your clients to be able to see that new listing only. You can go to that list and make that post, and it makes it so it's very separate if you do want to live that. If you want that a little bit separation between personal and real estate. Or say you have something really personal with family that you just want family to be able to see. It's a nice way to be able to do that. Now, you don't have to go to your friends list to be able to do that. When you go into just a regular post, you can select, see Phil, right here. You can select who you want it to be able to see, and you can choose a friends list that you want it to see, which is kind of cool.
Super nice.
Yeah.
I've actually been working on organizing my people into lists, and you feel like you get behind on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the nice thing is just a tip is, as you are going through your Facebook, just take 10 people and throw them on a list somewhere, because you can do it, I think, like right on the side of their name or something. It's really easy.
Yep. Yeah, you can add them to the list, and it's a little bit easier on the mobile phone actually to add them to a list. I don't see it on the desktop. Maybe right here. Oh yeah, it's right here. You can edit which friends list. So you just click on the little friend icon and then choose which friends list they need to go onto.
Right. So super great nugget, a way to organize your, the way you interact with the humanity in your Facebook. The second thing we wanted to cover in this annual section is something we encourage you to do daily. But if you do it daily, at the end of a 365-day period, you will have conducted this annual reminder. And it's this concept of scrubbing your database, right? Not unlike any other database you're playing with, your Facebook, if you're at 5,000 as an example, or you want to be very careful and particular about who you have as friends in your Facebook, right? So let's say you were so at a conference and you allowed a ton of realtors, you friended them on Facebook, and then you had second thoughts about, you know, how much of your personal Facebook page you want to be interacting with realtors, for example. One of the ways to scrub your database is every day, if you intentionally, and Joli's going to show you where to go, if you intentionally see whose birthday it is on that day, and it's a much smaller list than 5,000, right? So I'd have to scrub 5,000, where if you scrub just whose birthday it is on any given day, it's significantly smaller of a list, I can assure you. And so the idea here is look at each one of those people, go to their profile page and answer this question. Do I really know them? Do I want to do business with them? Do I remember when and how I met them? And do I want to keep them in my Facebook friends list, friends database? And you can easily keep people or remove people by having those simple conversations with yourself on their birthday. They won't know if you removed them on their birthday. And since this has been encouraged for so many years, many people expect their friends list number to change on their birthday. It may go up and it may go down. And if it goes down, it's probably because someone attended a class where they said, hey, consider scrubbing your Facebook friends this way. Hmm.
And that's also a good time to add them to your friends lists. So if instead of doing it all at once.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually. So you could, in a year, have organized your entire Facebook, and then as you're adding people, just being mindful to add them where you want them so they're organized. The other thing that I do with the birthday list every day is I haven't been scrubbing them. That's something I absolutely need to do. But here's the thing. The conversation would be like, are they a realtor? Okay, I'll keep them for a referral business. If they're not a realtor and some ancillary industry outside of Illinois, does it make sense for me to keep them? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. It gets a little bit more difficult when you use it a lot for referral conversations and speaking and traveling. So I haven't really put a lot of effort into it, but I just love it as a concept for those of us who want to be super clean about who we have in our access to us through Facebook. The other thing that I do though every day is I go to birthdays because I want to see whose birthday it is. And if you follow me on my Facebook feed, you might see some of this where I'll then go to, and Joli, take us to like, just look me up so that it'll be me and your page. So it's me, my birthday's coming up, by the way. So we would do a search for Sam Powell, and then you're gonna go to See Friendship. Go ahead, Joli. Take us to See Friendship in that little 3 little dots.
Very cool. So you have, I'm on Sam's Facebook page and the 3 little dots next to message, and it's the same thing on the mobile device as well. And you'll click See Friendship.
And so I tend to be doing this from my phone. And so on my phone, it shows, is there really no photo up top of the 2 of us?
Oh.
Yeah, that's interesting. So oftentimes when it's people that I have interacted with, and we have, so this is kind of bizarre to me, there's usually a cool photo of the 2 of us or something that we've posted and tagged each other, and then our 2 little icons. So I will oftentimes just do a screen capture and then just crop it so it's just the photo and the 2 little our 2 little profile photos, and then I'll bring that into Canva and wish them a happy birthday. Joli's going to show you one that I created for her last year when her birthday is shortly after mine, and I found one of my most favorite photos of Joli and brought it into Canva. I already have the little happy birthday template, and then so I just bring in her photo, change the happy birthday name, and then post it on her page, and sometimes with some kind of comment or, you know.
I love it.
So that's one of the things that I like to use it for. And then the other thing that I'm getting more in the habit of doing is I'm really terrible about celebrating your birthday before your birthday. So I'm not good about, like, for June 3rd, I'd have to put something in the mail before June 3rd in order for it to hit Joli on her birthday, right? So I'm not so good at that. What I will do though is just blame the postal service for anything being delivered about 3, 7, 10 days later, because I, on your birthday, decided to send you something, and that's when I made the effort. And I think that that is perfectly acceptable, that I've just continued the celebration of one's birthday when a surprise comes in the mail sometime in the future thereafter. So you can feel bad about it if you want. I come from a place of constant self-forgiveness, and so I'm not bothered by it at all. So take that on if you want. Do it however you want. If you go to birthdays, so Joli, you might as well take us there. If you go to birthdays, you can see the future birthdays. So if you are a planner, you could do it that way. I like to be that impulsive, last minute, today's your birthday, happy birthday, you might get something in the mail.
So you'll go to events, and then you will go to birthday selection, and you can also see the recent birthdays that have passed.
Yeah, in case you missed one and need to do a belated. So of course in Canva, I have belated ones because maybe I took a day off from Facebooking. It's possible. It's rare, but it happens. And then I have to have a belated one, and I just explained. What I do like about the way they stack the birthdays when you're at 5,000, it stacks them in the order of the highest level of engagement first. So people that I actually engage with and am in relationship actively on Facebook, they are stacked at the top. And so I'm not missing Jen's mom's birthday. You know, I'm not missing, you know,
your wife's birthday.
Not missing my wife's birthday or my wifey's birthday. So we think that that's really kind of awesome. And we encourage, right, this same concept, if you attend any of my sessions where I teach, you know, how I play in social media, including Facebook, what I highly encourage is that we take what's happening in this social portal, take it offline, which is why I encourage sending Joli a gift for June 3rd. And if you want to plan ahead, tomorrow's the 1st. My birthday is May 7th. So this is a perfect example of conversation. And if you don't have the person's address, I'm not saying don't reach out and ask them their address, but I would say perhaps Joli can go back to my page. And if you go to the about section on people, some of us who are not ashamed of where we live and don't care if the world knows, I also have a 24-hour doorman. So if I'm on vacation and I'm like, oh, I'm in Florida for the month of December, I'm not so worried about it because I have this extra layer of doorman security. If you have a single family home, you may not want to post your personal address on there, but I have put under my work and home or wherever it is, contact and basic info should give you my full home address. And the only reason I'm pointing this out is I get asked constantly what my home address is. And I'm just like, okay, let me teach you how to be a little bit of a detective first, see if it's on Facebook. And if it is, then you don't have to, you can actually surprise the person, but you don't have to surprise me. You could just tell me you're doing something cool.
Or you can reach out to me and I'll give you the address.
Exactly. The next thing we want to talk about is every year, I annually download my entire Facebook, okay? And this is sort of where my headspace is about this. Every photo that I put on Facebook has often been through a couple of apps, maybe brought into Canva, brought back out, posted, right? So I enhance the image, brighten, contrast, whatever I'm doing over here, adding layers of text. And I want at some point to have all of those in kind of an organized way for myself. And I have this big fear, growing fear every year since 2007 when I joined Facebook, that at some point they're going to decide they don't want to store all of our nonsense for us anymore and start lowering the resolution of those images, or start deleting those images from a certain period back. So it's just a personal fear. They've never said they're going to do this, but I download all of my Facebook, but I want to be specific. I actually only download my photos. So Joli's going to show you where you can do this. So it's under your settings.
Holy shit.
So again, do you have a question? Someone have a question? Or was that excitement, Natalie?
No, it's like, holy shit, do you have any idea how many pictures I have up there?
Oh yeah, exactly. We're being recorded, naughty student. And I'm not saying watch your language, but I'm the presenter, so I have to watch mine a little bit. But tardy and foul mouth, I just want to point out, I absolutely love Natalie. So if we go to do an annual download, Joli's going to take us to settings where we've been before. So to the right of the question mark, drop down, hit settings, and then she's going to have this option over on the left called
My Facebook information.
Your Facebook information, and then download your information. And it walks you through it. It talks you through it. It doesn't download right now for you. It sends you an email to the address you have linked to your Facebook when the file is ready, and then you can download it. So for me, I uncheck everything and only check photos and videos.
How big of a file does that usually end up being?
Huge. Let me,
Yeah.
of course I have to.
I was gonna say, you obviously pay for storage somewhere, you have it on maybe a backup drive?
I'm a Dropbox kid, and so my
Terabytes, we're good.
Yeah, lots of terabytes for me for Dropbox. Yeah. So I pay annually to have all the space that I want. And to me, it's important, so it's worth it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great tip.
No idea you could do that.
And
You're welcome. Aren't you glad you're here, Allison? Go ahead.
I am. I'm so excited. I've already learned so much.
You can do this with your Facebook friends too. So if you want to go into, I have a lot of strategic partners usually ask me if they want to build their database up. So they will go in and add make sure their Facebook friends are updated. And you can, again, same process. You go in here and just select friends, and it'll download all your friends. It'll download all your friends, any friend requests you've had in the past year. It will download any friends that you have deleted. It gives you a whole spreadsheet of everyone.
Yeah, and I've never done that. So awesome. Maybe that's where the only thing that would be really nice is if I could go in there and do cleanup and then re-upload, like, please remove the following people in one click. That'd be super nice. Somebody needs to create a third-party company that solves that problem, because there's clearly a need of at least one person, and so one person would buy your app.
I need snooze and lose. That's what I'm going to call the app, snooze and lose.
So moving right along, because we've got a lot of content we want to share with you. Also, you know how now more and more and more, even Canva is a prime example of this. You download Canva on your phone. It says, hey, do you want to create a username and password? Or do you just want to log in using your Facebook password, username and password, or your Google, Gmail username and password? Anyone familiar with that exercise? Are you doing that right along with us?
Yeah.
Right. So at some point, and we suggest annually, if not more often, because of the security risks that are in that game and pairing together, in Facebook, we can, in a matter of clicks, control what applications we've given permission to and strip those permissions right back if we wanted to. So again, Jolie's taking us there already. It's under settings, it's under apps and websites, which we appreciate the logic about it. And then in here, it's going to show you. Now, if only you could see my page right now. It's legit like 70 applications, because I like to test bed applications. I know this doesn't surprise you. I can only imagine what like Carrie Little's might also look like. I should ask her. We could have a little competition. How many apps are you testing? And so it's right in here that you can select, edit, and remove their permissions, okay? So we encourage that just for your own safety and protection and a little bit of peace of mind, kind of, right?
And you can do that with your games as well, which is right underneath, so you don't have any games bothering you too.
Yeah, I like it. First thing I did was please hide all games and all asks to play games with me. Now, if only you could disable the poke me feature, that would be kind of nice too. Natalie, is that you raising a hand, a finger? Or you're just chewing? You deciding to talk while you're chewing? You're muted now. Okay.
I know, but every once in a while, it's nice to have a little poke.
It's true. The sarcasm today is being brought to you by Natalie, who's a home warranty company. Should you have any need for her services, I have vetted her personally. And so if you need a recommendation, come to me and I'll give you the real skinny. Okay. So also in this concept of an annual, you can also, have you ever unfollowed someone? Like didn't remove them as a friend, but you just unfollowed them, like you were tired of seeing their stuff in your feed?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot lately.
Yeah, right? Politics will do that.
A lot of people.
Election time will do that. Yeah, I totally respect that. There is a way to refollow and unfollow more people in a real kind of user-friendly, quick and dirty way. So Jolie's going to take us there. So again, it's the little down arrow on the right of the question mark, and it's the news feed preferences.
Oh, are you going? Okay, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, so yeah, go to our little news feed preferences. And then while we're here, because we're going to touch on some of these already, so that's okay. So let's just go through what's on here, Jolie, and walk us through each of these options.
Cool. So the first one is the prioritize who you see first. It used to be a 10 limit. Now it's 30. So anyone who you select on here, you just click it if you don't want them to see, who you see first. But anytime that they post, they will automatically show up in your newsfeed first anytime. And again, you can also go through pages. You can do your friends only, so whatever you prefer. Then we are going to go down to unfollow people and groups to hide. So if you want specific groups that you don't want to see, but you still kind of want to be part of, if you want information, you can do that here. Then you have reconnect. So this is a really cool thing. And this kind of makes you go through everything of, the friends who you may have added, but you've not talked to, or maybe they disabled their account and they just, logged in a year later. And so you haven't connected with them. Facebook saw that you haven't connected with them. This is a cool way to kind of clean your feed, clean any pages that you follow, any groups, and any friends. Maybe it also kind of sparks that like, hey, I should reach out to them. So this is a really cool place to do that. And then your news settings. If anyone is bugging you, and posting too much.
Natalie, we may have made sure we shared this in class for you today because you asked me how to do it.
Yes. So you can go through here, and this one specifically, this is how you clean it up. But you can go onto their personal page and snooze them or mute them depending which update you are on Facebook.
And there's always these educational tools on here, so that Learn More button will talk to you about it more, like a little tutorial, if you will. So don't be afraid to bang on it. You can't really break Facebook. But the more you learn about the layers of complexity that this tool has, the more you can learn on different ways to use it for yourself, right? Incorporate different uses for it.
Totally. And if you want to unfollow, someone specifically, you can also go to their profile and click unfollow. You're not unfriending them, you're just unfollowing them. Also, if someone has a profile, like Sam has 5,000 friends, so you can follow her, you just may not be able to add her as a friend.
I just want to point out,
unless somebody removed me. What?
Yeah, she's had a couple people remove her over the past few days because she's been a little on edge.
It happens.
She's got 2 spots available.
No shame on my game. That's how we add people. And I have this story. I have 3. I have 3 slots. Nice. Oh yeah, 4997. And I never know who unfriends me. And do I really care? No, not really. It's just kind of entertaining how much it fluctuates. Before every conference, I like to go in and make sure I make room for like 20, 30 people, because I'm going to engage with some really great humans that I want to make sure I can add into my Facebook friendship. If you need to make room for someone, I often tease that I have to kill someone off in my Facebook. I have to unfriend them so they're dead to me, and then I can add you. So if we must be friends, we'll figure it out. Okay, so Joli and I are now going to take you through, we're calling this asking for referrals, but basically what we want to show you, the first thing we want to show you is the archive search, Joli. That's where we're going next. And I was the one who was going to demonstrate this piece because I use Facebook in this way quite a bit. So let's say in Chicago, a peer of mine, I get this all the time, a realtor buddy of mine will say, hey, Sam, do you have, and as an example, let's just say structural engineer. And I will be like, listen, I don't, but I'm going to post it on Facebook. Do you want me to tag you? And sometimes they're embarrassed and they don't want to be tagged. And then other times they're like, oh yeah, heck yeah, that'd be great. And so I'll go to Facebook, and I often will say, asking for a peer or asking for a friend, but I like to say peer because I'm asking a real industry related question. And so I'll be like, looking for a structural engineer, like who have you vetted? Who do you trust? Who would you recommend that you've actually had experience using? And it's not just a name you came across and want to share. What I encourage people to do is when you make that ask, also spell out instructions to our friends, because what I find happens is I've asked you for a structural engineer and you'll just type, Joe Smith, and Joe Smith won't be on Facebook and I'll have no way to get to him. Or you'll private message me and send me Joe Smith that he's a guy on Facebook, find his page on Facebook. What I really want from all of us is if anyone asks you for a recommendation, do a couple of really great things. Tag the person that you're recommending, say something awesome about them, encourage them to connect. And then I also take it a step further, and in my Rolodex, I'm going to have their full contact info. I copy and paste that right into Facebook, into that recommendation, because what I want is it to be as easy and efficient as possible for Natalie, who might have asked for a structural engineer, to not only see 7 or 8 structural engineers, but be able to like easily grab it, share it with her client, and simply say something like, a peer that I strongly trust has vetted this structural engineer, and so with confidence I can recommend that you give them a shot, right? Or that you call them for a quote or whatever the conversation may need to go, right? So that's my ask of you. And then this happens. So when Joli and I were banging on this yesterday, I said, hey Joli, I remember asking for a structural engineer sometime way back in the day, but I don't remember when. And when we did the search, it was a 2017 question. And Joli's going to show you, we're going to modify the demonstration because it's Joli's page.
Where since this was.
Oh, that's okay. I got you. Oh, you're on your page. Why does your cover not show me like my cover shows me?
Listen, I'm just excited that you actually have one of these.
have one at Rolodex? Yeah, it's electronic, babe. Electronic. Copy paste, no paper.
Is there something wrong with this paper?
Yes, there's so many things wrong with this paper. Yeah, so Joli, your activity search in the upper right-hand corner is where you want to go.
Activity log?
Yeah, it's in activity log. So it shows up right under your cover photo. There are some options down there. Say again? Yeah, no, you're right. So then this is in the activity search is where you're going to type that question.
Okay.
Just so you're proud of me, Sam, hello.
Yeah. I'm proud of you. So Joli, can you think of something that you might have anytime you can remember anything that you posted ever, and let's do a search for it. So for you, it could be tattoo as an example, and it should reveal for us any of the posts that you've done where you've used the word tattoo in your post.
You know me too well.
Every other day.
Yeah.
Can you guys, when you get a moment, can you go back and show me where you found activity log again?
Absolutely.
Is that just your?
Yeah, let's have her take it from the top.
Okay,
Take
so
it too.
I'm on my profile right now, and you will see these like little dots, and so it's right next to the eye, and you'll click activity log, and then you'll be able to see that, and you can go all the way back to when you started Facebook. And you can also organize it. So if you're specifically looking, like if I'm specifically looking for tattoo photos that I've posted, I could click on photos and videos, and then it would organize it specifically just times that I've posted photos.
Wow, exactly.
So,
thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Can I ask a question? So this is anything that Joli personally posted. So if I posted it and I said like cleaning company, then I could go in here and anytime I posted that information would pull up, but it has to be my post, not somebody else's, correct?
I'll show you how to get someone else's post.
Oh, I love it.
Today, or we did that yesterday.
Okay.
So your activity log shows anything that you've posted. It's not going to show anything that you've commented on. It's just going to show anything that you've posted about and using words. And again, it can be simple as tattoo, because that's literally what I post every day about. So you can do that. Now, Sam and I were talking about a tent that, Sam, do you want to explain the story really quick? So,
Yes, I would love to, because I was just like, as an example, I posted one time, 1 year, we were in the suburbs at Jen's parents' house, and we were cleaning our tent. We have an 8-person, 2-room tent. And so we had it set up because we had cleaned it, now it needed to air dry. And I got to thinking, hey, we have a for sale sign right in our trunk. And so we took out a for sale sign, we put it right in front of the tent. We put a fire pit, we put a little birdhouse, we moved a planted pot, and we took a photograph. And then I posted on Facebook that this 2-room, no bathroom, waterfront, because the parents have a pond in the yard, was my newest listing available for purchase or rent. And so I was just like, every once in a while, I'm enamored by this silliness. And so I'm like, I'd really love to find that photo again so I can reshare it, right? Or whatever it might be. So in my demonstration to her yesterday, as we're building this, I was like, for example, let's find my tent photo. And Joli found it in a hot second. So because you can search, are you able to search and say that it was posted by a friend of yours and my tent show up? Because this would be a good, oh, you were, because you found it.
Yeah,
right?
so
I found it.
So you just go, instead of the activity log, instead of your activity log, you'll just go into the search bar up here and just type in, like I typed in Sam Powell tent, and you can go down. Again, you'll see that you can organize it. So if it's specifically just photos that you want to look for, it's not mastered very well how to go through all the photos. But you can scroll down after you get through friends and people, and you can go down to posts. So this is a reshare of the original post.
So 2010, I posted it for the first time, and I was with Keller Williams at the time. And I just think it's so fun and fantastic, like how silly. But look how great that lawn looks also, right?
I love it.
So and I, like another good use of this I found is, and what a sad topic to take us to, but when like people have passed away and I want to create like a memory book and have sent to a family member, or find all of the photos that I've posted being with that person so that I could, do a post in memory of them and share a bunch of our journey and experience. then I'll go and do a search for their name in my post, in my archive, so I can see every time I drop their name in Facebook and then collect the photos that I want. So that's one of the more meaningful, touching ways that I found a good use for it. But I also think it's awesome to be like, I know somebody just 2 weeks ago, you know, had just asked for the same thing someone's asking for. Let me not reinvent the wheel. Go here, see what I can find, and then reshare, right?
Their profile does, the post has to be on public though to be able to find it in the search bar. So just
yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I get it. Okay, where are we at now? You found my tent. Sending me money. Joli, show them how you would send me money.
Okay.
Oh, that's important.
Send me money.
I'm the one who owes her money, so I think this is great. Will it let you request money? Because I think it will.
I can.
I think, why don't we, in a demonstration, because Joli had these really amazing, fantastic mugs made for her and I asked her how much I owed her, and she finally told me how much they cost, and then I've never sent her the money. So I feel like what a great accountability part of our class where she can ask me for, and you can see how much these awesome mugs cost. Was it $26 or something like that? I don't know, whatever number you throw in there.
I have no
$1 million.
Yeah,
exactly. You should absolutely make that request. It's fine by me.
cool. Okay,
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
So what you'll do is on to ask for money specifically, you have to go to their profile and click on message, or you can have an outstanding message with them and you can click on it. You just can't type in your message and put their name in. You have to have an outstanding message with them or go to their profile. And then you'll just click on this little money sign at the bottom and you will click request or pay, and you can link your debit card, credit card, or PayPal to Facebook, which is cool.
Like we want to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
I
This
don't
is
know
great for
how-
businesses that have
Well, you can write
stuff that they
what
send.
it's for too.
I will say though, just from my
Facebook.
other business that I do with Senegence, that if you ask for too many requests or you get paid too many times in a day, it will put you in Facebook jail because it thinks you're like a scammer. So don't do it multiple times a day, or
That's crazy.
you'll be put into Facebook jail. And then
Yeah, so use it sporadically or not at all, and use the many other portals that don't put you in Venmo jail or Cash App jail or, you know, Chase Zelly jail for making bank, right?
yeah, and when you do get the money though from on Facebook, it automatically goes into your bank account or PayPal, whichever one you have set up.
And so while we're here, the other thing that I use Facebook for, and people pick on me all the time about it, and I really don't care, but I have, well, 3 stories. 2 of them are the same story, but it happened twice. So I was driving a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, which was my dream car. I owned it from 2003 to 2013. And near the end of its life, let's just say, it started having some electrical issues and the battery would keep dying on me. So I'd be out with clients showing properties and the battery would die in my little Beetle. And I would finish the showings. We'd take a cab, finish the showings, whatever the case may be. And I'd go back to deal with my car. And the way I deal with my car is I would Facebook and say, hey, I need a jump. I'm located at the corner of blah and blah, or I'm in front of the address of 123 Maple Street. Is anyone available and nearby that has jumper cables? Kind of important. Although in the second story, I had the jumper cables. Can someone come help me out? And you should see the conversation that happens on Facebook when I make this ask, because of course they're like, why don't you call AAA, or, you know, Sprint has roadside service, or whatever, many of these other options that of course I had available to myself. And I was just like, listen, here's why. Because in the 2 minutes that I posted it and then went back to look, there were already responses and a private text message to me saying, I can be there and blah, 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 if you still need an assist. Fast forward a few weeks later, happens again. Now I have jumper cables in the Beetle because I'm like, let's just be prepared, right? And you know, I like to have a plan B to protect myself. So same thing happens again. I posted on Facebook. The first time it was a client of mine who's a Chicago police officer who came and bailed me out. The second time it was a realtor peer of mine, happened to be in the same company. We're friends on Facebook. And he was there, Johnny on the spot. I kid you not, like in 7 minutes, he was there, car was jumped, and we were both back on the roads together. So I'm saying there's no wrong answer and there's no wrong use of this as a tool if you find it to be a successful use of the tool. A most recent example, which I think is super fun, is I have this addiction to rotisserie chicken right now. And I thought to myself,
Now, it's not right now.
Before adding rotisserie chicken cooker to my Amazon cart, of which Jen has to approve the purchase for, because that's our family rule. Because right now there's $400 worth of stuff in Amazon and she won't pull the trigger. See my struggle? So I went to Facebook and I said, listen, I know someone in this 4,997 has a rotisserie chicken kitchen appliance that you're not using. Either have never used it once, haven't used it in forever. And I kid you not, in a matter of days, a rotisserie chicken appliance arrived in my house from Texas. So that credit goes to Kylie Garza out of Texas, who saw my post and was like, I think I have one laying around. We haven't touched it in over 5 years. Threw it in a box, put it in the mail. I did an awesome unboxing and have cooked 3 chickens in it since, and I've had it less than a week. I'm just saying the power of Facebook.
Traumatized by your chicken cooking and the leg going thunk.
Every 11 months since we
Yeah, we were on a Zoom happy hour that Natalie hosts from time to time, maybe every night at 5. And so last night I was logged on to her Zoom, and then I logged on as a second user on my cell phone and put my cell phone on a tripod because I have a tripod mount, and I had it watching the chicken so that I, of course, could see the chicken because it's right here. But now everyone in the Zoom could also enjoy my chicken, and the leg every 11 seconds would smack the bottom of the rotisserie. So it's fantastic. Anyway, I digress. So those were the stories, Joli, that I promised I'd share that I wouldn't share with you yesterday.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
All right. So moving right along, because there's still quite a bit and it's already 40 minutes. We're already 40 minutes into this. If you need to leave at exactly 7, just bail. No problem. Mad respect. If you can stick around, we want to get through the rest of what we put together. So we'd ask you to stick around if you can. We have no idea specifically how long it's going to be because we didn't really test bed it in time in that respect. But Joli is now going to take us to our messages through Facebook and show us. For a long time, there was sort of this hidden place of messages from people that we weren't friends with, but who still found us and wanted to reach out to us and thus sent a message. So Joli is in the messenger section and is going to take the lead from here.
Cool. So I'm in the messenger section and your message requests. It used to be the other folder. Now it's message requests. It's anyone who is not a friend of yours. You will get a notification in your notifications when someone does send you that. But if you click on your notifications and you don't notice it, it won't remind you again. So always check your message requests. I've had a lot of referrals actually in there. So I try to check it every day. Obviously, I have not had time, so I haven't checked it recently. But you can, always make sure you check it. Also, making sure that if you do run a page, and I always like to remind this because most people don't know this, is when you run a page and you get an inbox message on your page, it won't let you know anymore here. It'll only notify you once in your notifications. So always check your pages that you manage as well.
Yes, sound advice, because that's my biggest frustration. I wish they were a little more user-friendly in all of those pages and being able to organize and see the messages that are coming in all of the brands that you're playing in, because I find it quite frustrating with the number of pages that we manage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, and then now we're going to move along. So now we're going to move into places and sections that Joli and I also have very limited experience. Everything else we've sort of done and played with a little bit. I came across a couple of places in Facebook where I was just like, hey, is there a practical use in this spot that we're not using in our industry or ancillary industries? So the first one Joli's going to take us to is Marketplace. If you're familiar with Marketplace, she's going to click on it so you can see it. It's where people post things to sell, right? You get that? Makes sense. It's a marketplace. Go to the marketplace. Well, you'll see up near the top, she's a quick scroller, this one.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Up near the top, you can see things like there's stores, there's buying, there's selling, there's items you've saved. If you click on the sell something, Joli, just for giggles.
Oh, sell something?
Uh-huh. Because this is where the idea hit me. And just raise it up a little so we can see the bottom. Anyone notice anything on the bottom left of this page that might be meaningful to us in this Zoom?
Homes for
Homes
sale
for
or rent?
sale. Wow.
Yeah, Yeah, why are we not posting every property we have for sale and for rent in Marketplace as a way to potentially generate some leads, interactions, additional exposure for our client's property? I would pay someone to do this as an assistant because it's a pain in the neck in my mind's eye, in, you know, the data points that you have to put in there. There's no easy drag and drop, as it were. But I would like to encourage us, you know, perhaps the kids here in this group with us together, that we commit to banging on Marketplace a little bit to see if we can yield some meaningful results. One of the things that I have used it for, and if I could demonstrate, I would just show you the example. In 2018, 2019, I started posting this first-time home buyer free orientation. So I just had a cute little, I made it in Canva, no surprise. And it was kind of like, want to know your buying power in today's market. And it had the year. And it would be, you know, reach out to me for a free consultation to learn about your buying power, which means I'd introduce myself and then introduce them to the lender and then bring them back into the fold when they were ready to buy. So I was able to show Joli that I had some decent interactions in the times that I posted that. And so why not? So it led me to believe that there's an opportunity and a possibility that maybe when we post our rents and sales there, even Airbnb, for example, and then provide the link to where they actually go to register for the Airbnb, kind of an untapped marketplace, in my opinion.
You can choose who you have it listed by. So if you don't want your personal information, like our business page, so I could choose to do it on our business page, and then it would also show up on our business page as well under the for sale section.
Yep, and it also, it's pretty user friendly, meaning the orientation one that I posted, I could renew it. So I didn't have to rebuild it every time. It only stays up there. They keep changing it, but it only stays up there for so long. I think it's 30 days. And then you can renew it again for another 30 days. So pretty decent in that regard. And then the other place that I want Joli to take us to is similar. And it's a place called Facebook Offers.
You should come and see this.
And where she's going to find that is under the Explore on the left-hand side, the furthest down, basically on your left-hand side, you can do show more, and then there's this offer section. Now, what comes to mind immediately for me here that I feel is untapped and we're not doing and using is this idea of first-time homebuyer seminar. You're offering a free seminar, maybe a webinar where you have a custom link to a Zoom call that you have scheduled, where you're going to walk anyone who comes to that webinar seminar about first-time home buying and what that roadmap looks like, right? I could see us doing the same thing with first-time home seller seminar. I could see those of us that are speakers or mentors or trainers, any ancillary business like Joli and I were talking about, her side hustle, using this place to make offers. She's making offers all the time within her Facebook as posts. Why not take a little effort and bang on offers and see if there is an opportunity here that is untapped, okay? And when we look through it, we weren't seeing a lot of real estate related businesses. And so we thought, hey, let's talk to our people about maybe it being an opportunity for us to tap into it before the world catches on, right? So that's the marketplace and offers, what we wanted to talk about. We also suggested why not put some women's council events in there if you're trying to get some Joe Public for lead opportunities for yourself, whoever's managing the posts there. You could do a call out to realtors and encourage realtors to join the organization, join an upcoming event that you're having, maybe offer a free ticket to their first event, those kinds of things, right? Just planting the seed here for you to explore it a little more. Then the next section we wanted to take you to is about safety and security. So Joli's now going to take us to our security and login settings. And of no surprise, we're going to start to the right of the question mark. She's going to go to settings. She's going to go to security and login right under general. And what we can do here is if she scrolls down, well, she can see right now at the top, it's just different to see hers versus mine, because I think mine, when we looked at it, it was like 47 logins were recorded.
It's a lot. I just didn't.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so she did show less. So these are all of the devices that at some point in time had logged into Joli's Facebook. Now, one would hope that it's Joli logging in all of these devices, but Joli, share with us a story of why this is an important measure for you to share today.
Oh, well, yeah. So I go through here about every week. And I want to highlight that if you see that if you have an iPhone, and it shows that it's in Los Angeles, most of the time it's your iPhone. Apple just has the setting as home in Los Angeles because that's where it was shipped from normally. So don't be frightened by Los Angeles, but obviously check that. And I always go through every single week to make sure, because I've had hacked issues. People have been logged on here in other countries. And so I always just come in here, make sure that I'm not hacked in any location. And I may not notice that they have done anything, but I also have had people use the money feature on the Messenger app and send money to other people. So I definitely keep track on here and making sure that I'm the only one logged in. As you can see, I'm on my Mac right here, so it shows that I'm active, as well as my iPhone, and that is sitting right next to me. Good on that.
And is it in this section, Joli, will you remind me, is this where we would do two-step authentication? Yes, it is. I will tell you that up until yesterday, I had two-factor authentication set up on mine. And what I can tell you, in having had it that way for like 6 months, it was annoying as hell. And here's why.
It's a good thing.
It is a good thing because it's a nice security measure. I'm just all about taking risks right now. I don't care. I'm so frustrated. So I unactivated it yesterday when we were banging on the back end of it. And here's why. Every time I go to log into Facebook on my phone, it would force me to send myself a code, put the code in, and then it would unlock my Facebook. And I just have to tell you how inefficient that felt, and how much time collectively over a period of time that I felt I was losing my life, that I turned it off. Now, I'm not saying don't turn it on. I'm saying if you do, it takes patience. It requires a little more patience than this kid has. Also in this section is a place where if you get locked out of your Facebook, if you've forgotten your password, you can add a couple of people. Is it down in the bottom? Yeah. So you can choose 3 to 5 people if you wanted, who can get you out of, I've been locked out of my own Facebook, not jail, but poor password management, we like to call this section. So we encourage you, add someone in here, a significant other, a best friend. Joli and I are on each other's now because we were in here yesterday, so we added each other. I, of course, have my business partner and Jen on mine, so be it if I ever needed to do it. I've never had to tap into it, but I always thought, what a great idea, right?
It's a really cool feature to have. I've had, my poor password management. So
yes,
I've had to use this before, and Facebook kind of changes it a couple times. So sometimes you can, your friends will just have a code to send you. It's kind of like the 2-step system with the code. Or sometimes they have to authorize on their Facebook that you are trying to access your account. So Facebook kind of keeps changing it a little bit, but it's a really cool feature to have, and it's definitely needed if you're like me who have bad password management. So.
That's right. Poor battery management and poor password management. My two favorite things to pick on people about. So Joli, moving right along, our next one again is sort of a sensitive topic, and it's if you pass away, what do we do with your Facebook? Facebook wants to know. And I don't have the cheat here for us in this one, Joli. I just said choose a legacy contact. There you go. So it's under the general. Yeah, go ahead, Joli. Take it away.
To be in your general section, and it is the memoriam setting right here, and you can edit it. You can choose who you want, so they have access into your Facebook. You can also have it so you can get a annual reminder. So if you want to make sure that it's always up to date on who gets access to your Facebook page, you're more than welcome to do that. And if you want your Facebook page to be deleted after you pass away, you can also request that right here as well.
Right, very good.
You think I free up all my friends?
Well, let's face it, if you're in a relationship and you leave that relationship, or whoever you have as your person, they pass away before you do, then you pass away, now no one has access to your page. So that's why it encourages you to do an annual reminder to make sure it's someone you still want to have access. All right, so we've got 2 more quick and dirty sections and then an opportunity we wanted to propose to you guys. So this next section, Joli, is about Facebook ads.
Yes.
And one of the things that we wanted to share is a Chicago perspective. So when I was active as a leader on the local Chicago network level, this would be back in 2011 to 2014, 15, we built into our annual budget social media budget because I was in charge of our marketing and stuff. And I thought that Facebook would be an amazing tool that I wanted us as an organization to use. And so we created a budget that allowed me to then create ads, promote ads, whatever we felt we wanted to do to utilize that money and resources, we did in social media. And so I highly encourage that conversation. Now, what you do for that budget, maybe in the first year, it's one thing. By the time I left there, we were looking at like $1,500 annually in social media engagement opportunities that we would use it for. Joli, I'm going to remove this because we can't do that. So we talked about the budget.
And we talked about, we talked about the logo, the fair housing, all of that when you're doing, and well, any type of, advertising, make sure that you follow your, the rules so you don't get in trouble.
Well, and Facebook will not allow you to promote. It won't allow you to spend money if you're a realtor and you don't have the fair housing logo on there. They don't care as much about the realtor logo, but I encourage that you can Google search for fair housing and realtor logo, and they actually have some where they're right next to each other. And so I have a series where I have realtor logos, the fair housing logos, some of them combined with a background, without a background, so I can plug and play the ones that I want. And then we encourage, of course, for you to follow the national guidelines for branding and regulations. And then the one thing I wanted to talk about that is slightly off topic, but only not because it integrates into Facebook. Is anyone in the group using HomeSnap, that third-party tool solution for marketing your listings? No? So I'll put it in the chat just so that you can look it up. I use it quite a bit on my listings. I'm heavy on the listing side. So it's called HomeSnap, and it's a pay to play. And what it does is it integrates with your Facebook, with your Google, with Instagram and Waze, or that driving app called WAZE. So every time I put a new listing on, I spend about $300 of my own money for HomeSnap to market to each of those portals for me. So Facebook, as a Facebook ad, in Google, it puts an ad in Google for me, which gets really good traction. I opt in for Instagram, and in HomeSnap, they recommend that you use it to tap into the millennials because they are finding, of course, more millennials are using Instagram. And then the Waze app. I haven't, dabbled in the Waze app through HomeSnap a whole lot, but the other 3, I can show to my sellers some amazing additional traction that we're able to get them. And it also is a lead generation. So when I showed Joli it yesterday, one of my listings, a listing that actually closed today, one of the HomeSnap ads that I ran generated 14 leads for me on that property. So unrepresented buyers who had questions about the property or wanted to see that property, or the property was wrong for them and out of their price range, but we're able to turn them into a potential consumer, into a potential client, right? So I think that that's pretty sweet. So I encourage looking at HomeSnap if it's in your budget, but very much red light, green light that project, because if you're not getting a return on your investment after a period of time that you've dedicated to it, then obviously stop using the service. I've had great success in using the service, and so I highly recommend it. The last section that I have Joli and I going to, do you want to show them the ads though, Joli, your ad center? Yeah.
Yeah. So I am on our local Women's Council page. And so when you're on your page, you can go into Ad Center.
And it's always up there at the top.
Yes, and it's always on the left-hand side as well, all the way down. You can click on Ad Center as well there. So this is going to be your Ad Center. We haven't run any ads with our local Las Vegas page, but also Facebook normally does credits sometimes. So like $5 credits. They always run with certain posts. They want you to have good engagement normally with your pages. So they normally will send you a notification saying, hey, you have $5, $10 credit that you can use on there. So take advantage of that as well and play with it, because you can kind of dabble into the ads and seeing what is best if you know, how people respond to it.
Yep. And I, for a little while, was using a third-party service. And so I gave them access to my ads. And so they could do posts on my behalf. And so this is where you would see some of the results of those efforts too.
Totally.
Okay. And then the last section that I have us touching on, that Joli and I are touching on, is Facebook events. And through Women's Council, our hope is likely that you have some experience with Facebook and using events for your local network, for your state network. One of the things we wanted to have a conversation around is accessibility. So for example, on the local Chicago network and on the state network, I manage our Facebook page on the state level. And I have added as admins, every one of our leaders on the state level, any chairs of a committee on our state level, and a person who is helping me with marketing and advertising. And what we encourage you to do is make sure that all of your leadership team knows that they've been added as admins. And now when I create an event and I text all of my leadership team and say, the event's live, it allows them to go in there and invite people super easily and conveniently, so that we can get even further reach with the event that we've created, right? So if we're going through this effort to create the event, to share the event, why not also take that extra effort? It takes time though, and that's why you need the buy-in and the commitment from your leadership team to do it. But we see such a difference in traction on those posts and at those events when we are intentionally inviting people, making the ask for them to come. And it's super user-friendly in my Facebook feed to see, you know, in my dropdown, so-and-so invited you to an event, so-and-so invited you to an event, so-and-so invited you to an event. And they are oftentimes events that I wouldn't have seen organically or considered. And so it's just a nice little layer to enhance your events that you're creating. We can also see on a personal side, what a great use for a virtual open house. Create it as an actual event, create an actual Eventbrite that captures first name, last name, cell phone number, email address, and that allows them to then get the link to go to the virtual open house when it happens. Why not use it as a lead generation tool and concept, right? So make people register in a way so that you have a way to collect their data. And again, two things we've already touched on, but what a great, again, concept, and we can use it in these events. Create a virtual first-time home buyer seminar, because you can do it right now from the comforts of your own staycation. Same thing with a first-time home seller seminar. You could be like, every third Thursday, I'm going to host a home buyer seminar. You could put something in offers. You could put something in marketplace. You could create a event on your personal page and or business page. You can drive and direct as much traffic as possible to this free seminar, but again, have them register so that you can have intentional follow-up post any event or post any seminar. You follow? So that concludes, unless Joli, you have something that you'd like to add to these layers.
No, you've covered it. You've covered it all. So we talked about events, talking about the virtual open house, and there's other websites, and I will try to find it, that will automatically, so like when we do our virtual open houses, we have them fill out a form, and then it automatically sends them a link to a video, just so that way that they have it automatically if you don't want to do a live like Zoom or live Facebook page.
Awesome. All right, hold on. Let me yell at my kids. No barking. I love you. Now they'll all go hide for a while because it's a no bark. It hurts their ears. I love them, but they have to, if I had one for Natalie, I'd use it, obviously. Guys, I love you. Stop it. Hey. Oh, wow. I heard that too. It interacted with my own technology. Wow. Okay. So in your chat, Joli and I, we wanted to add another layer of enhancement to the presentations that we've had this amazing and beautiful opportunity from Women's Council National to put on. And so we're super grateful, and we want to give National street cred for allowing us this awesome opportunity. We personally always make ourselves available to anyone who wants to tap into us to learn a little more, to go a little deeper, to put something in practicum, to actually put something into action. And we thought, why not take it a step further just ourselves? And so we have created for anyone, you don't have to have just come to this class today, but next Thursday, May 7th, happy birthday, Sam Powell. So that's when I'll unbox all the gifts if you order them today. Live on our Facebook. Joli and I every Tuesday and Thursday have been hosting this just fun little get together called Afternoon Delight. And then we answer questions for people. We have people bring concepts to test bed and just brainstorm and step away from your day and have a little bit of fun, right? I bring the sarcasm, she brings the intellectual side, and it's a nice little meld. So we decided on our Thursdays moving forward, even after we're released back into the streets, we want to keep something going in this sort of ongoing workshop concept where it's a hands-on, come to our Afternoon Delight, for lack of a better term. You're going to come to our workshop. We are going to have a topic for that workshop, so join it for that. But also know that you can join it with another question or concern. We would just ask that you let us address the questions that are related to that topic first, and then we'll address yours before we even close shop that day, right?
Yes.
So the first one we want to offer is about Facebook 2.0. So if you felt like today was awesome, great content, but you don't really know how to implement it, you know you're going to forget the steps in the process. If you join us in the workshop, we'll walk you through it. We'll screen share so we can show you again. We can have you screen share and you can show us your struggle. We can ask you for permission to access your screen share, and then we can show you hands-on, right? So we think that this like real, you're in the driver's seat doing the actual steps that you want to do to integrate something or create it, add it to your book of business. So that's why we've created. So we've built out the next 3 based on the classes that we already had. So we've got the Facebook one, a hands-on Canva one is on May 14th. That also is the day of voting, but we're hosting it before the voting happens, unless National adds another event, and then we'll obviously honor that other event and attend that. But right now we have this as a placeholder, and we'll market it on our pages too. And then the third one we have is this, a lot of people are asking about the virtual business card that I have and that I share with people. And if anyone in this call not familiar with the QR code, business code that I have and use and share, because if everyone's familiar with it, I won't, but Patricia's not. Okay, so just real quick, Patricia, take your phone out for me. And then go open your camera, Patricia. And then have your camera look at my QR code that you should be able to see in front of you. Do you see it? Okay, so your camera should, oops, hold on, Sam Powell. So your camera should recognize it's a QR code. And if it's functioning properly, you should get a little link on the top of your camera, on the top of your phone. No? Yeah, let's
something
you're
with my
unmuted.
phone. There's something must be something with my phone because it didn't do it the last class either.
Okay, so you're the perfect example for I then just go to plan B and shoot you the link. So what we thought we would do is host a workshop on helping people build theirs, helping people create a cover page that's the right size for their phone, so that they could, if they wanted to, emulate Joli and I and what we feel is sort of an awesome way to carry around your business card, by it always being, for me, it's my home screen. So whenever I unlock my phone, because it stays awake the longest, I can just, all of my applications are like on the next pages, but the first page is always naked for me. That's the other window shade, don't pick on me. So the first page is always naked so that the QR code is always visible.
Oh, wow.
And there's Rose showing how easy it is to do, and that if Sam can do it, Rose can do it. If Rose can do it, we can all do it. Right, Rose? Exactly. And so that concludes our offerings of class today, but we also want to make sure before you guys leave us, if you have any unanswered questions about Facebook 2.0 or kind of about anything, we're pretty open for conversation. We do like to now always make this ask for Women's Council National, is now that you've been a part of the virtual offerings that they've had, is there something that we're missing? Is there a topic, a class, something that you'd like to see, or something you'd like to see sort of the next version of, like Facebook 3.0. I don't know what that would look like,
Yeah.
but if you're like, I've mastered the
Who knew?
2.0, now I want something more. Yeah. So we just want to plant that seed. You can run it up the flagpole however you want. You can go direct to national, make a recommendation. You can reach out to either one of us, and we're happy to share it with national on your behalf. Whatever you're comfortable with, but we want to make sure that we're delivering valuable content to our members through the rest of our stay at home and beyond, for obvious reasons, and also generate ideas for you to share on your local level. Go ahead, Rose.
Hi. Do you, I mean, has anyone ever done anything on Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube? Like the different instructions, how to upload things? I mean, there's so much to learn.
Yeah, it's true. And there's this whole captioning
something.
section. Yeah, no, agreed. Okay. Duly noted. I'm sure the girls are listening, and I'll put it in the chat.
YouTube, like how to really kind of like set up a YouTube channel, and even like how-tos on a green screen. Right. I mean, I know that gets a little in depth, and maybe it requires props. I don't know. But you know, that, I mean, video is, you know, obviously where everything is going. So I think what Rose said is huge. Okay. And that is just the tip of the iceberg, literally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I've been a member of Women's Council for 34 years. And I have to say, the only reason I even knew that these existed is because I went to Vegas a lot and actually went to some Women's Council events and ARIA events and things like that. And
that's exactly it.
I liked your page, and I'm seeing these events only through the Women's Council of Las Vegas. So I didn't even know these things existed. I'm on Long Island. So I keep following Joli's page on the Las Vegas.
Yay!
Oh, that's awesome. Well, let's also, as part of our Women's Council commercial, if you go to the WCR.org, if you go to the virtual events, right? If you go to national events, there's a drop down. If you click national events, it takes you to our national event page for mid-year. If you go to let it do the drop down and select virtual events, you can see any upcoming events. I believe we're the last one until mid-year's over. But more importantly, scroll down further, because all of the events that they've recorded over this course of time are all there and available for download, including Joli and my Canva training, the Pixlr training. This training will show up there. And there are so many other beautiful ones in there that we highly encourage you using as your own resource, you sharing with your network as maybe a watch party or a resource. You also can see some amazing speakers and reach out to those speakers and say, hey, I saw your course. I'd really love to host a live event. Is it something that you'd be willing and available to do, and then set something up for down the road, right? So there's so many layers for uses and conversation around it that we like to pimp out what Women's Council is doing, because it's pretty badass, ladies. We love it.
This one was awesome. It was kind of a last minute thing. I'm like, I really want to go if I can, and I scheduled time in my calendar, and I'm so glad. I just kept going, oh my God, I had no idea. Like every single thing, I was like, whoa, I didn't know that. I knew about the groups. But that everything else I didn't know about.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I just found this afternoon. Our state president, Ohio, Sandy Runyon, had mentioned at our mid-year or our spring meeting, you know, check out the virtual events. I popped in there today, and
really great.
You guys were, and this was really wonderful. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you for joining us. Those of you that you were able to come and stay, we really appreciate it.
Congratulations on your coin,
we do accept.
Joli.
We accept compliments, because Joli is an amazing co-host.
Yes, you.
I could be number 4998, just so you know. The friend
4998. Okay.
And Joli, I sent yours too, but I could be number 4998.
I feel like you should have.
All right,
you should
I gotta go. Thank you guys. You were awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I confirmed you, Elise.
Thank you.
Now you can do your appropriate 9998 post if you wanted.
I might put a frame on my Facebook profile.
Well, for the 3 people that unfriended me, you're welcome.
Yeah, right. Thank you, three people.
Because I'm an awful person and should be removed, stripped from people's Facebook from time to time. And I love it so much.
Well,
All right, cool.
Unfriended you. All right, ladies.
And
Thanks, everybody.
so we're still recording. So you guys can mass exit however you want. We've got a little post-production stuff that we need to do. Save down some files and make sure that we take care of our
Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. Be
Bye.
safe.
Bye, guys. Natalie, thanks for joining us. Have fun.
Natalie.
Do I have to leave?
No. No, this is what we were hoping for. No, I'm just kidding. So our lady friends have left us, but before we stop recording, I want to download the chat. So I'm going to download everyone publicly and personally, everyone publicly. Okay.
By the way, I just
not that the ladies,
because of your dinner right now. So I just delivered Wendy's delivered. Yeah.
So I only have this once a year. I have French fries and I dip them in my Frosty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, so
Yeah.
I'm saving the chat saved. I don't know where it saves. It saves in a folder.
It saves in a
Joli, you did this last time. Will you save it down and email it to the ladies like you did last time for us?
Yes, I will.
Can I get the
I'll
electronic
stop
version?
I'll stop
I
the
just saved
recording
it.
so that we've stopped recording. I thought.
You
No,
just
that's
saved
not
your
my video. I'm a dork. It's fine. You know what? I
It's
haven't
that
had a-
other red button.